As I said, this has implications for banks and banking systems. David Schwartz is the CTO of Ripple. David. Hello, thanks. My name is David Schwartz, and I'm the CTO of Ripple. I'm not an expert at all. I had arthroscopy surgery yesterday, and tomorrow is my first day back at work, so I won't be able to use slides. My office is on the other side of my house, so I'm coming to you from the kitchen. It looks like it's on the moon. Rich, Tobias, Barry, and John, I'd like to thank you for letting me talk today. Ripple makes it easier for businesses to send money internationally by creating a new blockchain-based system for international payments and settlements that can work with other systems. We want the Internet of Value to make payments as easy as email for businesses of all kinds and people all over the world. We're not going to build that by ourselves, of course. We set a big goal, and in 8 years we've learned a lot about where the problems are and where the chances are. The good news is that blockchain can speed up, improve the reliability of, and lower the cost of domestic payment. That's important. It's not possible to have good foreign payments without good settlement at home. Today, international transfers are not as useful as they used to be, but they are still very important. Most of the time, they just don't happen. If we didn't have email, most texts wouldn't have been sent by mail. There would have been no contact at all. International payments are so slow, unreliable, expensive, and hard to understand that they stop a huge amount of useful trade. There is a huge chance here. Almost every foreign payment has a domestic transfer at both ends, and the foreign payment doesn't work well if those don't. That's also important to remember that even if you imagine a great foreign settlement system with speed, certainty, and low failure rates, those benefits won't be felt by the ends of the payment, unless both ends of the payment have those qualities as well. No matter how much a country tries to modernize its own processes, it will not be able to benefit from the revolution in payments that is happening right now. It's likely that banks, wallets, and fintech companies will have to act as middlemen to get CBDC to people. It doesn't make sense for central banks to try to replace consumer financial infrastructure with services that go straight to consumers because they don't have the resources to do so. As we've worked to make modern foreign payments possible, we've found that the most difficult part is often the last step, which is getting the money to the recipient through the domestic payment system. However, CBDCs won't be able to solve the last-mile problem that has made it so hard to modernize foreign payments because they don't connect to consumers. Thankfully, home systems are becoming more up-to-date. Some countries, like Singapore and SEPA, have very strong home systems. While the US is setting up Fed, it won't go live for another few years. The fact that these payment methods are based on newer technologies that work with each other is very important. If they aren't updated, they won't be able to give the benefits of better foreign settlement to both the person sending the payment and the person receiving it. That payment might not work at all in the worst case. You can dream of a future with a single world asset, but we won't get there until the value of the new one world asset is the same as it is now. In either case, consistency is very important. Today, the world's value is spread out among systems that don't work with each other, and a huge number of odd and unique links, or band-aids. Companies that deal with a lot of payment ends need hundreds of workers to keep their payment infrastructure running and handle the complicated treasury tasks that come up when dealing with funds in dozens of payment systems. If someone wants to go up against companies that already have this kind of payment infrastructure, they can't hire 100 payment engineers and 12 finance operations staff for their new business. That doesn't work. So this is a chance to connect real-time payment systems in the US, like FedNow and Clearinghouse, which would be very helpful for small and medium-sized businesses, and in the end, customers all over the world. Like how the internet was put together, we need to build tools that work together. A lot of computer networks today are really just parts of the internet. It wasn't always like this, though. As many of you may know, Cisco became the market leader because they could connect old systems that were already in place to the internet, while rivals often asked you to build new networks that worked like the internet. There is no reason to worry that most networks today look like the internet. But openness made it possible. There was a long time of change. We're not going to build a new banking system tomorrow and have everything move to it by magic. That's not going to happen. That's not possible. Settlement and payments are still the way they were before the internet. Still, there's that big difference. There are a lot of limited links between each walled garden, which makes it hard for systems to talk to each other. Businesses need to keep their money spread out across these systems because they don't know which local payments they need to make next in which countries. Because of this, costs are high because of trapped funds and the need to fund operations days ahead of time. So, these are two issues we need to keep in mind when we talk about safe coins and CBDCs. There will always be one cash currency that stablecoins are linked to. As things stand, there can't be just one winner at the end of the day. In the near future, there will not be a single steady coin or fiat currency that everyone uses. Since the Bretton Woods deal in 1944, the US dollar has been the world's currency of choice. Its state has been getting worse, especially this year, as we can see. As of now, I don't see any other currency taking over as the world's main currency anytime soon, or even in the next few decades. However, its situation is getting worse. Uncertainty about the pandemic is making people and businesses look at other safe asset types, even cryptocurrencies. And the rise of other countries, especially China, that want to challenge the US dollar. Being tied to USD also means being tied to jurisdictional ties that, let's be honest, many places of the world don't want. These days, a lot of sovereign countries around the world want to be free from a system that lets places like the US and the EU control systems in other sovereign countries and areas. One country that wants a payment system in the Middle East that supports their sovereignty is Saudi Arabia. We could make the same mistake again if every country makes its own CBDC or starts using fixed coins that are worth different amounts of money in different regions. These virtual currencies and traditional assets and processes need to be able to work with each other very badly. Capital controls, trade deals, and politics will all be the same for a CBDC as they were for its fiat currency. And no country will want to deal with the capital controls of another country. They also shouldn't. They are independent countries. It is not possible for there to be a world currency produced by a world government that everyone uses for everything. There are two options for the future. One is an interoperable future with a few jurisdictionless payment assets, or the other is more consolidation. Interoperability is the most important thing to look at when you're going across borders. You are working on different things and in different places. Otherwise, your liquidity will be split between the n-squared sets of CBDCs. You need a neutral asset in the middle. For the same reason, if other assets like stocks around the world are tokenized, there will be an even greater need for a neutral asset between different cryptocurrencies, and maybe a lot of new assets in new asset classes. Not even a central bank is going to make a digital currency that works like Bitcoin, XRP, or Ethereum. These are neutral assets that are not controlled by any one country. So, CBDCs won't take over the role of assets used in general settlements. Everyone can agree that they can't get everyone to use an asset they own. So you need a neutral asset in the middle of the CBDCs that can be used as a settlement across all legal states. So, an asset that no one can control is better than one that their global rivals can control. Bitcoin is sometimes sold as the way to make all kinds of different systems work together. And in its early days, that almost seemed like a good idea. But now there are about 2,500 cryptocurrencies that don't work with Bitcoin. And almost nothing that isn't crypto works with Bitcoin. This is just a new version of the walled garden problem. We didn't build the internet based on compatibility. Instead, we made one network that everyone had to join, which was too much to ask of people too fast. No Cisco for the internet. There is more than one network then. If there is to be a hub network, it needs to be built with openness in mind, rather than making everyone do things our way. It can't be built on walls, but on bridges. Both XRP and the XRP system were made to do this exact thing. The XRP ledger was designed to handle transactions in both XRP, which is a native neutral asset, and issued assets such as stocks, stable coins, other payment networks, and other types of assets. Adding assets to the XRP system is built into the protocol. Issuance, authorization, payment, settlement, exchange, and native activities can all be done with simple APIs. It's possible for issued assets to be fiat currency, stocks, or anything else with a value that can be used like money. The XRP ledger can't handle all of the world's purchases, though. And I'm not suggesting that you only use one network. That's not possible at all. Every country and every person has their own set of problems and wants. There are, however, other possible solutions to the same problem, and XRP could be the hub or backbone that makes fast foreign settlement possible. It won't solve the last mile problem, but it will help make payment systems work with each other and pool cash, so businesses don't have to keep money in all of them in case they need to make a payment. Going over what I said at the start again, CBDCs can speed up domestic settlement, which is very important. You can't have good international payments without good domestic settlement, but they're not enough on their own, and we can't expect small and medium-sized businesses, consumers, and users to gain from them unless we do a number of other things. Another thing we learned at Ripple is that even if you give a business a great payment train, they won't want to tell their customers about it, because it makes the older parts of their system look bad or unacceptable. It's usually better to only offer payments that settle in 2 to 3 business days than to offer payments that settle right away and payments that settle in 2 to 3 business days. People are going to be even less happy with the slower payments than they were before you promised them a better experience that they only get sometimes. It's strange, but it's true. In a way, you need to do everything to do anything, but CBDCs can definitely play a part. Only getting to and from the end user and being able to work with systems in different places and with different currencies are left. Those are also very important parts if we want to make things better. Music. A long time ago, the world was going through a big change in the way money worked. Cryptocurrencies had replaced traditional ways of making payments, and they were quickly becoming the rule. But out of all the different cryptocurrencies, XRP stood out as the clear winner to take over the future banking system. Its unique qualities are where XRP's rise to power started. XRP is different from many other cryptocurrencies because it was made to be used in the financial field. It was quickly accepted by banks and financial institutions all over the world because of its lightning-fast transaction speeds and low transaction fees. This made it perfect for international payments and transfers. As more businesses started to use XRP, its value went through the roof. People who invest saw that XRP could become the core of the global financial system and put a lot of money into it. Because of this, XRP's market capitalization grew faster than that of even the biggest banks, and it became clear that XRP would be the main coin in the future financial system. As XRP became more popular, governments all over the world started to use the XRPL to make their own legal currencies. There were many good reasons for them to use XRPL's technology to support their national currency. Anyone, anywhere in the world could use it. It was safe, quick, and cheap. As XRP's popularity grew, it became clear that it was more than just a cryptocurrency. It was a new technology that would change the way money is handled forever. With its advanced features and wide use, XRP started a new era of financial innovation and growth for everyone. In the end, XRP, the chosen cryptocurrency that would rule the future banking system, changed everything. It had gotten past all the problems and shown that it was useful. It would keep moving the world forward for many years to come. Music.